this have to be on? Bluetooth? Or?
I think so.
Yeah, there.
Unless if it's plugged in, it doesn't have to.
The last time I think it was blue.
I feel like it was too. All right, let me open it up. Give it a listen. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, I think we're good.
We're good?
I think so. Yeah, cancel that. There's a little lag. Yeah, we're good. Yeah.
Just kind of.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I still think it's better than
Yeah.
ringside. You can just see the whole ice better, I think.
Yeah.
All right, we're sorry for the netting, but I think it's still a better view from up top.
Are they good?
All right, Hawks fans, welcome back to the SeaTac Midwinter Classic Tournament Game 3. The Littleton Hawks wearing white with black trim going up against the Seattle Sno-King Junior Thunderbirds. Game 3 for the Hawks. They are 1-1. The Hawks are 1-1. I'm not sure what the Sno-Kings are. I'll try and look that up. But just like that, we're ready to get underway. And here's Bryden on the face-off, quickly into the offensive zone. But the Sno-Kings take it away. Flip it behind the net. 13-minute periods here. That one's sent all the way down, and that might go for an icing. Nope, they're going to wave it off for some reason. Nolan goes back to retrieve it. Christian has it now. He flips it behind the boards to Nolan. He slides that up the boards to Kai. It goes off the tip of his blade onto Bryden with a head of steam. Makes a little move, a little juke, sends it right through the crease, but couldn't get a stick on it. Now Nolan with it with some traffic in front. That one deflects wide of the net. Outlet pass intercepted. Sent towards the net, sticked into the corner by the goalie. Comes back out to Nolan. Good first shift here for the Hawks. Cleared out of the zone, but deflected by Nolan. Quickly brought back into the zone, and the Hawks go for a line change. And Sno-Kings break into the zone. Got it in the slot. Good pass to the near post. And then the follow-up shot did not get through. Traffic in front still trying to stuff it home, and the Hawks are able to break out. Good pressure there by the Sno-Kings. And their first real threat in their offensive zone. Hawks retrieve it. Now pushed up the far boards. That's Zach on the far side. Gets it taken away, and the Sno-Kings break in. Larry tries to shove the guy in. Good pass. Good passing by the Sno-Kings here in the early going. Good centering pass, and get a shot from point-blank range. But Sachin able to make the save to keep it 0-0. 11-12 left in the first period. Faceoff brought back out to the blue line, but the pass goes wide of the defender, and then Kellen applying the pressure on the forecheck that deflects off his shin, goes into the zone, centering pass, comes right in front of the crease, but Tyler was shoved down, couldn't get a shot off. Good defense by the Sno-Kings. Collision in the corner, centering pass just out of reach of Tyler. Goes to the far boards. He tries to pressure, and that one's a slap shot it all the way down the ice for an icing against the Sno-Kings. Offensive zone face-off. 10:44 left in the first period. From the frigid Tacoma Twin Lakes Arena. Offensive zone draw, won by the Hawks, sent towards the net, looking for a deflection. Kellen couldn't quite get his stick on it. Pushed up towards the blue line, but kept in by Bryden. Kellen going aggressive towards the net, tried to get it to Tyler, but intercepted by the Sno-Kings. They break out of the zone. Net's offsides. Nope, they let it go. Dumps it in, chases after Larry with it. Pokes that along to Ilya. Looking for someone to pass it to, goes all the way across to Tyler, but deflected away at the last second. Sno-Kings back the other way. Taken off of his stick by Ilya. He'll circle around. Looking for some help. Now reverses it back to Tyler. Tyler trying to break out. Pushes that one forward to Kellen on to Carson, I think. That's Bryden. Gets around the defender. Tries to make a move. Point blank range. And the Sno-Kings goalie makes a save. Good work by the Hawks there on that breakout. Carson taking this face off. Pushed back behind the Sno-Kings bench. 9:45 left in the first period. And that was icing. We're coming all the way back down to our side. Carson on the face-off. One back. Nolan pushes it back towards the center, but Christian and Nolan got mixed up, and it's a 3-on-1 developing. Gets around to the right side, and Sachin stands tall, makes a great save. Carson on the defensive zone faceoff. Kai takes it away, flips it behind the net. Christian over to retrieve it. Hawks are able to break out, but that centering pass should have been intercepted by the Sno-Kings, but was not. Now they'll dump it in deep, and they're saying no icing. Poked along further. Sno-Kings able to keep it deep. Kai goes over to get physical on the far side, gets tripped up. No call. Good centering pass. Got right by the Sno-Kings centerman, though. Poked up the boards by the Hawks. And then flipped out to neutral. Kai coming in quickly. One-on-one. Gets around a guy. Fires a wrister. Bumped up into the air right in the crease. And then he came in. That was Carson on the doorstep. Couldn't quite stuff it home. And then sent all the way down. That will be icing against the Sno-Kings. Some good opportunities in the early going for both teams. Hawks are 1-1 in this tournament. The Sno-Kings are 2-0, so this will be an important game for both teams. Probably clinches a spot in the championship if the Sno-Kings win it, and keeps our hopes alive if we win it. Sno-Kings break out. Gets by Cole. Here's an opportunity on the far post. Sachin standing tall, able to make a save. Another point-blank range opportunity. But Sachin keeping this game scoreless. Bryden breaks in, gets around, tries to get around the guy, and they're going to say that was offsides. Trey's playing left wing today. Colin out hurt with a knee injury. I haven't seen him yet today. They are here. Let's see if I can see how he's walking. He might be on the bench over there. I think he is. So the Hawks down one player. Pushed into the zone, but the Sno-Kings retrieve it. Break out. Trace gets a shoulder from behind, but able to play it on further, but now the Sno-Kings break back in. Shot from the far circle, deflects behind the net. Sno-Kings retain possession, keep it deep. Larry Bryden in the corner. Larry fighting for it. Creates a bad pass, and here comes Zach breaking out. He's got Trace helping out in the center. Deflects off of his stick, but Zach hustling after it. Can't quite get to it first. Cole keeps it in at the blue line. Tries to get it deep and can't. Sno-Kings send it down again, and we'll have another icing. 7:28 left in the first period. Carson on the face-off. Sno-Kings control it behind their own net. Oh, good step by Ilya there to keep it in deep, but bad, unlucky bounce comes back towards the Sno-Kings. Here's Ilya with it again, hustling back to help out on defense. Rhett sends that one off the boards. Carson with it, steps around Kellen, loses it. Kellen forces it into the zone across the blue line, but now the Sno-Kings control it. Down to 7 minutes left in the first period. Kellen, good hustle to keep that one in again, but then flipped it up into the boards and out of play. Apparently no extra pucks. No extra pucks on the scoreboard, on the scorekeeper's table. But they found the one that went out of play. Neutral zone face-off. Carson wins it. Good face-off win. Nolan dumps it in deep. Kellen will chase after it here on the near side. Tyler applies some pressure and able to keep it in deep, but now the Sno-Kings will break out, but force a turnover. Now comes back again to the Sno-Kings. Trying to get it around Ilya. It does, but fires that one through the slot. No one home to get it. Tyler throws a stick at that before the Sno-Kings are able to throw it on net, but Sachin made the save. Now comes back out to the point. That slap shot went wide of the net. Good defense there. Here's Kellen breaking out. He's got a head of steam. Gets it deflected off of his stick, though. Now Kellen absorbs a good hit along the boards. Kai comes in to help out. Kellen throwing a shoulder in there. Little retaliation, but no call. It's all clean in hockey. Under 6 minutes to go in the first period. Sno-Kings break out, but a good poke check there at the blue line by Bryden keeps it deep, and then Kai absorbs a big hit that could have been a penalty, but they're letting them play. Little physical play here early on, letting them go. No calls. Sno-Kings break out. Good poke there by Bryden, but he got by him. 2-on-1 coming back the other way. Slap shot, and then the slap shot initially saved from the far circle, but the rebound sat in the crease just long enough for the Sno-Kings to stuff home that rebound and take a 1-0 lead. That's what you're looking for when you fire that shot from that odd angle. If you can't score it, try and send it to the side where the goalie is going to make the save, but might leave a rebound in the crease for the guy on the far post to get it, and that's what happened. Kai getting harassed again about his helmet. No. He's going to have to go to the bench. Same thing happened yesterday. Bryden on the faceoff. Poked up the boards. Bryden racing in with it. Fires a long-range wrister high and wide of the net. Ilya and Christian keep it in the zone, but now sent to the far side, and the Sno-Kings will get it out. 2-on-3 coming back the other way. Fire looks to wind up the wrister. That shot did get on net, but Sachin makes the save and freezes it. 5:08 left in the first period. Sno-Kings win that face-off from the high slot. Fires a wrister or slap shot wide of the net. Retrieves that one. Centering pass did get through. Sachin had to make a quick save on that backhand attempt. Goes to the far boards. Deflected off a skate into the boards. Now Sno-Kings and Ilya fight for it behind the net. Looking to do a wraparound. Fires a backhander save by Sachin and cleared out of the crease. Fire again towards the net looking for a deflection, and they got it, but it went wide of the net. Sent through the crease again. They're just firing it into the slot. Now poked away by Christian and clears it out all the way down. Zach on the forecheck. Sno-Kings with a good head of steam. Good job by Christian to break up that play with the check along the boards. Broken up by Christian again. Good hustle on this shift by him. Tries to make a move. Gets shoved off the puck, though. And the Sno-Kings are able to retrieve it and clear it all the way down. And that will go for icing. What is that? The 5th or 6th icing call by the Sno-Kings already in this game. 4:05 left in the first period. 1-0 Sno-Kings. Carson with the offensive zone draw. Comes back to Rhett. He pushes it all the way to the near side boards. No, that was Cole, I think. Trey's fighting for it along the boards. Shoves that one behind the net. Cole steps up, tries to get it deep, but it deflected off the shin of the Sno-Kings player, and they're going to be able to break out. Under 4 minutes left in the first period. They dump it in and chase after. Nolan will get there first, though. Flips that one up the boards. Past Tyler, kept in at the blue line. That one, good play by Tyler on from his knees to get it out of the zone, but the Sno-Kings retrieve it. Dump that one in deep, and this will be another icing. Bryden on the face-off. Kellen gets to it in the corner, pushes it deep. That is, comes out to the blue line. Ilya with it, fires a wrister. That one goes wide of the net. Kellen chases after it. Flips that one to the backhand behind the net. Zach chases it down. Reverses course, stays in the corner. Now sent through the center, deflected off of Kellen, but now comes out of the zone. Good shoulder by Kellen. Kellen playing aggressive today, this morning. He's awake. He got some waffles from the self-serve waffle continental breakfast this morning with a bunch of syrup on it, so he's ready to go. Ilya reverses course, flips it off the boards, bounces over Bryden's stick to the Sno-Kings, dumped into the zone. Ilya backs up, assesses the situation, flips it to Bryden. Good aggressive forecheck by the Sno-Kings, but Bryden avoids it, and then centering pass gets intercepted. Sno-Kings break into the zone. Gets onto the forehand, tries to get around Ilya, does, but he was able to force that one to the corner. Centering pass went off the side of the net. It's all good pass to the far post, but an odd angle shot did not get through, and now it comes all the way out to neutral. Good step there by Ilya, but interfered with by the Sno-Kings winger, and it's taken away. Good pass to the near boards, and here come the Sno-Kings again. Gets around Rhett. Comes into the circle. Centering pass got through the two Sno-Kings attackers and goes to the far boards. We're down to 1:40 left in this period. Deflected to a Hawks player, and Carson tried to pass it off the boards back to himself and just couldn't quite make that connection, and then it's offsides. Carson on the face-off, one back by the Sno-Kings and flipped all the way to this near side. The defenseman breaks into the zone, fires a wrister, and saved. Sno-Kings attacker took himself out on the side of the netting, went into the boards hard. A little slow to get up, but he's all right. Faceoff comes right into the slot, and the Sno-Kings had an opportunity, but someone got a stick in there to break it up at the last second. Cole pushes it along the boards. Christian centering pass, kept in at the blue line, but then a good play by Kai gets it out to neutral, and Carson's able to break in, but he gets thrown off the puck, and the Sno-Kings take it back. We're under a minute left in the first period. Good centering pass, but Larry hustling to get back breaks up that threat. Kai now delivers a good check into the boards. Christian with it, spins around, tries to get to Carson, but a little too far underneath him, and comes all the way back down. 40 seconds left in the first period. Sno-Kings playing aggressive. Carson with a wrister, a little too far away, and then he throws a shoulder. A little cross check from behind when the puck was frozen. But they're letting them play. They're letting them be physical. Both teams being physical. Maybe the Sno-Kings a little bit more here in the first period with a 1-0 lead. Out shooting the Hawks 9-4 per the scoreboard. Sno-Kings control the faceoff. And they break out, but that pass is wide. But Nolan's going to be able to get to it before it gets to the red line. Skates it along the boards. Hawks try and poke that one up, but can't quite do it. Now Bryden does get it up the boards to Tyler. He's got a little bit of space. Getting ahead of steam, races in across the line. Might have been offsides, but they let it go. He fires a wrister from long range, and it's saved with 4.2 seconds left. Try and get a quick, cheap one here before the end of the period. Trace racing in, trying to get that goal and couldn't quite get to it in time. And the buzzer sounds to end the first period. 1-0 Sno-Kings. One game on the schedule for the Hawks today. Just this one, and then we've got the rest of the day to kill in the Seattle-Tacoma region. But hopefully 2 games tomorrow. But we need to win this one. All right, here we go. Getting the second period underway. Bryden wins that faceoff. Tyler races in and pokes it forward, but the Sno-Kings take it away. They send it all the way to the far boards. Deflects off of the boards, and Ilya got a stick on it. Sno-Kings almost able to break through, but Ilya and Trace able to take it away. And here's Ilya with it. Trying to get around the defender. Does, but poked it a little bit too hard, and the Sno-Kings take it away. Trace plays that one off the boards, but not through. Now poked back up the boards to Trace. Bryden comes in to try and help and pokes it back to Ilya. Pass up to Tyler, tries to deflect it on to Bryden and does. Now he'll dump it in towards the net on goal, pushed aside by the goalie. Trace on the forecheck. Sno-Kings almost able to break out, but kept it into the blue line by Bryden and then Trace. Brett able to get a stick in there and then kept in at the blue line by Bryden. Poked off of Trace's stick to the far boards, and now here's, they're going to say too many men on the ice. Too many men on the ice for the Hawks. And Trace is going to go to the box. We got a power play on a similar situation yesterday. Puck just sent into a bunch of players getting on and off the ice for the Hawks. Bounced off of somebody, and they're calling too many men. So the first power play of the game goes to the Sno-Kings. They lead 1-0. There are 1 minute and 30-second power plays in this tournament, actually. Sno-Kings control it. Centering pass right into the crease, but then deflected away and pushed out to neutral. Good job by, that was Cole and I think Carson that were able to break that out. Good forecheck here. That's Kellen, I believe. But Sno-Kings set up their attack. Breaks in the near side, circling around, goes behind the net, still with the puck, gets it to his defenseman. He fires a wrister towards the net. So that is a rule for this tournament that I am not familiar with, but they're saying, what does she call it? A crease violation? I don't think the attacking team is allowed in the crease at any point, really. Or maybe only if the puck is sitting in the crease, but they've called that a few times, and it's not a rule I'm really that familiar with. But anyway, they bring it out to the neutral zone. For the face-off, here comes the Sno-Kings on the power play. 45 seconds left on the power play. Kellen able to break that up. Now Larry sends it all the way around, but the Sno-Kings will get to it first. Circling around behind the net, comes to the near side, looking for a wraparound, keeps a hold of it, sends it on to his defenseman, but he can't control the pass, and it comes out to neutral. We're down to 23 seconds left in the power play for the Sno-Kings. Skates into the zone. He's got some space. Now Larry closes on him, sends that off the side of the net. Bounces right back to him, circles around, sends a wrister on goal, and that one got deflected right in front and found the 5-hole and goes in, and it's a power play goal for the Sno-Kings, 2-0. Hawks win the faceoff. That was Bryden on the draw. That pass bounced over Christian's stick, though. Now they'll bring it back in. Sno-Kings control it. Pushes it back behind the net. Loses an edge, but is able to get up before Kai gets him, but sent into Kai. Now deflected up the boards. Got over Nolan's skate, though, and goes all the way down, and they're going to wave off icing. Now comes up the boards. Tyler pokes that one forward, out to neutral. Bryden couldn't quite get to it. Sno-Kings retrieve it. Can't control that. Kai delivers a little shoulder into the boards here underneath us. Good centering pass. That's Tyler with it. He's got a little space, breaks in, tries to get around the defender, sends a wrister towards the net, but deflected up into the boards. And the Sno-Kings with it again. Flips that one all the way to the far side around Ilya. He's going to be able to get to this before they call icing. 9:25 left in the second period. 2-0 Seattle. Centering pass, good one. Finds Carson. He flips that one to the far side, just a little too far in front of Tyler. He sends a slap shot towards the net. The goalie's stick was there, though. Carson trying to get it from the near side. Got a stick in the way and couldn't quite get off a shot, but hustling back on the forecheck or the back check. Sno-Kings break it in, but deflected towards the blue line and kept in by the Sno-Kings. Now Carson with it, gets caught up under some feet. They deliver shoulders. Sno-Kings retain possession, and they're going to call a penalty on the Sno-Kings. Carson and the Seattle player just delivered shoulders to each other, but they're going to send the Sno-Kings player to the box. We'll take that. So the Hawks get a power play. This would be a very good time for us to pick up a goal. Carson, Tyler, Kellen, Larry, and Nolan out on the ice to begin this power play. 8:53 left in the second period. We trail 2-0. Carson wins that faceoff, pokes it behind the net. Tyler on the forecheck, but slapped up the boards and now poked beyond Nolan and out to neutral. He'll have to hustle back for it. And we'll try and set up here. Pushed up the boards. Kellen tried the centering pass, but deflects and finds Nolan. Good defensive play there by the Sno-Kings player to interfere with Nolan as he was trying to enter that one into the zone. Comes all the way around. He'll try again. And that was offsides. Hawks player was going for a line change. Hawks player was going for a line change in the offensive zone as Nolan dumped it in. Center ice face off. Bryden to take this draw. Trace races in, tries to get around someone, gets tripped, and that's going to be another player going to the box for the Sno-Kings. So it'll be a 5-on-3 power play for 49 seconds. That's a tripping call going against the Sno-Kings. 5-on-3 power play for 49 seconds, and then we'll have another 41 seconds of 5-on-4 if they can't score. Face-off comes to Zach. He gets it over to Nolan. He'll step in, sends it back into the corner to Zach. He pushes that on to Bryden. Back to Zach. Sends it out to Nolan. He sends it across to the far side. That's Larry with it. Fires a wrister towards the net, and it goes in. And I'm not sure if someone deflected that. They're sending Larry through the line first. So the wrister from Larry from the far circle, and that's a power play goal for the Hawks. And it's 2-1, and boy, did we need that. With still 1 minute and 13 seconds left of power play. Quick goal on that 5-on-3. So now we got plenty of time left on this power play to get another and tie it up. Centering pass goes to Trace. He holds his toe on the blue line, stays on sides, and now Nolan with it. Centering pass deflect off the Sno-Kings stick, but kept in at the blue line now by Trace. He'll dump that one in deep. Zach on the far side going after it. Lifts the sticks of the Sno-Kings player. Poked back into the corner. Bryden with it. Now poked up the boards. Larry steps in. Centering pass deflected through the crease and wide of the net. Nolan with it now in the corner. Centering pass deflected by Sno-Kings. Larry, another wrister. That one deflects and then comes on to Trace's stick, but he couldn't quite get his stick on it. It was too far underneath him. Nolan winds up a wrister, fires that one, saved by the Sno-Kings goalie. Comes back out towards the blue line and gets by Nolan. He'll have to go back and get it. 20 seconds left in the power play. Under 7 minutes left in the second period. That goes all the way down for icing with 8 seconds left in the power play. Carson on the face-off. Wins it forward, but the Sno-Kings get it and fire it out of the zone. Here's Ilya with it. He'll race through center, tries to get around some guys, gets it poked off his stick. Kai with it, fires a wrister off the back of the Sno-Kings player. Now Carson spins around with it, hits the brakes and gets shoved aside, but Kai's able to get it. Odd angle shot goes off the side of the net. Carson races in. We're back to even strength, and they'll just clear it down the ice again. That's like 10 icing calls against the Sno-Kings this game. Carson with this offensive zone face-off. 6:20 left in the second period. Christian applies some pressure on the far side, shoves his guy off the puck, and Carson's able to keep it deep. He got checked a little bit late on that and didn't like it. Christian with it comes into the zone, or into the circle, still chasing after it, flips it into the corner. Kai hustles in to help out, but pushed along and sent out to the neutral zone. Rhett with it now, sends it back towards the blue line, and Christian dumps it in. Now sent all the way through, and that is going to be another icing against the Sno-Kings. We need to take advantage of all these offensive zone face-offs that we keep getting because they just keep icing the puck. 5:38 left in the second period. 2-1 Sno-Kings. Larry with the power play goal this period to bring us one goal closer. Bryden on the face-off. Sno-Kings control it behind the net, but Bryden's there to get it. Sweeps it up the boards. Cole is able to deflect that one and keep it in. Bryden with it now, skates along the blue line. Flips that one into the corner. Tyler chasing after it, gets it behind the net. Fires that one right through the crease, but we couldn't get a stick on it. Sno-Kings control it. That one gets deflected off of Tyler's, or no, that was Bryden, I think. But Sno-Kings still control it. Now it's sent out from neutral. Here's Kellen with it. Passes it on to Bryden in the near circle. Fires a wrister. Blocker save by the goalie. That looked like that was headed towards the upper corner. Nolan with it at the blue line, keeps it deep. Bryden centering pass, good one to Kellen, and that one just got deflected up and over the net. Good pressure by this line on this shift. Here's Bryden with it, gets it back to Kellen, pushes it deep again. This is Cole with it. Good pass over to the far side for Nolan. He winds up, misses that wrister, sends it through again, and that one went through clean all the way to the near corner. Tyler with it, pokes that one up to Cole. Good play by him to glove it down, but that deflects off of Tyler to the Sno-Kings player. Tyler now pokes that to Zach. He wrapped around the far side and couldn't quite get it. Bryden with the attempt from the slot. Nolan the wrister. That one didn't get through. Hawks almost able to capitalize on that. And then this one comes all the way down for, it was going to be icing, but it was on net. Now finds Tyler on the near boards. Gets it to Carson. He hits the break. Send that one toward the net wide. Now Zach over to the far side. He pokes that one into the corner. We almost were able to catch the Sno-Kings in a wholesale line change. But good pressure by the Hawks here this period. 3:45 left in the second period. Trying to get the equalizer. That one flipped off the boards again. But that one's trickling and slowing down, and they're going to call icing again. I'm going to say that's 12 icing calls. That's my rough estimate. It's probably more at this point. Face-off controlled by the Hawks. Comes back to Rhett. He slides that one forward, but intercepted. And I think there's going to be another penalty coming up against the Sno-Kings. That's a tripping call behind the play. I think that was maybe Carson camped out in front of the net, and he got tripped. And the Hawks get another power play. 3:30 left in the second period. One to this near side. Good face-off win. Here's Ilya with it. Passes it back to the corner. Gets caught up underneath. I think that's Zach. And now here comes Carson centering pass right into the slot, but deflected away by the Sno-Kings. We got Trace, Carson, and Zach out there. And here's another icing. And they're just content to just clear it all the way down every time they have an opportunity. 1:11 left in the power play. Good face-off win by Bryden. Wins it back to Larry. Sends that one right through the crease, but Kai couldn't quite get to it in time. Ilya races in, pinch and keep it deep, and then bounces off of his body. He sends it into the corner. Bryden with it. Reverses course, hands it off to someone, a Hawks player. That's Christian. Now sent back. Deep. Christian with it on the near side. Tries to get in front of the net, but deflected off of his stick. And then frozen by the Sno-Kings goalie. .243 left in the second period. 43 seconds left in the power play for the Hawks. Here's Bryden on the face-off. Sno-Kings control it, but now comes back to Bryden. Tries to flip a backhander towards the net, but it deflected wide. And Sno-Kings are able to break, get it out of the zone. But now good play up to Christian. He skates it in on sides. Tries to get around a defender, but lost it, and the Sno-Kings get it. We're down to 24 seconds left in the power play. They get it out to the neutral zone. Ilya with it. Passes it to this side. Bryden touches it into the zone. But Kai couldn't quite get to it. Sno-Kings with the puck. Tries to get that one through, but can't. Kai delivers his forearm shiver and then receives one, and they're going to say no penalty on that one, though I think it could have been. Goalie had to make a save off of that wrister thrown towards the net. Bryden pokes that one up. We're back to even strength. Ilya fires that one high and wide of the net. There's another penalty coming up here. This one's going to be against the Hawk. No. Another penalty, I think. Another penalty, I think, coming up against the Sno-Kings. That's a cross check. So the power play ends for the Hawks, or for the Sno-Kings, and they immediately get another player sent right back into the box. Another power play for the Hawks. We got to get one here. We've had a man advantage for most of this period, at least a one-person advantage. We've been applying pressure. The puck's been down on this side of the net most of this period, but can't get one in. This one comes out to the high slot. Nolan fires that one and deflects in. Nolan had that one from the high slot, sent that wrister towards the net, and it deflected off of Kellen for the equalizer, 2-2. We've been on the power play all this period. We needed to get that one, and the Hawks come through. 2-2. Kellen from Nolan. Carson on the faceoff gets that was Tyler with an arm around him from the Sno-Kings player, and they dump it in. Rhett goes and chases after it. 2-2 in the second period, a minute 30. The Hawks with 2 power play goals this period. That wrister comes all the way around. Tyler on his horse. He's got a step. Tries to get onto his forehand, gets it poked off. He slides a backhander. It goes just wide of the net. Carson with it, dumps that one back into the corner again. Kellen now applying some pressure. Comes up the boards. That one was heading towards the crease, but deflected up and over the net. Tyler applying some pressure in the corner. Fighting for the puck. He pulls it out. Centering pass got through. It's cleared out by the Sno-Kings. Now sent back on net, and that one deflected on net. The goalie had to make a save. Awkward bouncing puck, and a good save with 53.7 seconds left in the second period. 2-2. Bryden on the face-off, controlled back behind the net by the Sno-Kings. Pushed up the boards. Goes by a couple players, all the way back into our defensive zone. Ilya with the puck. Bounces that one off the boards and into the bench. They're going to put some time back on the clock. 42.5 seconds left in the second period. I think that's Bryden getting chased out of the face-off circle. Trace takes the face-off. Sno-Kings control it out to the blue line. Wrister towards the net, deflected wide of the net. We're down to 30 seconds left in the second period. Sent towards the net. Ilya is able to guide that one behind the net, though. Bryden steps in, poked up the boards. Down to 25 seconds left in the second period. Poked along the boards. They keep it deep. Ilya now goes and collects it, and he will skate through neutral. Passes it up to Zach. Couldn't quite control it, though. Neither can the Sno-Kings defender, and Zach stays on the attack. Now Trace and Bryden. Here's Bryden with it. Gets around the defender. Reverses it back to his forehand. Fired a shot. A blocker save by the Sno-Kings goalie, and that does it. Good final attack there by the Hawks as we controlled that second period. Thanks in no small part to a few power plays. 2 power play goals, 2-2.